My name is David Orban, and I want to welcome you to Searching for the Question Live. I'm very glad to have all of you following the show. And before we start, I want to remind you that even if we are live, you can always watch past episodes, both on Facebook and on YouTube, probably also on Twitter, I don't know. And on YouTube, for sure, you can also subscribe to my channel so that you get alerts, and there are special icons to make sure that happens actually. We also have a Discord community, and I invite you to join on davidorban.com/discord. And finally, if you find a show valuable, as well as the other content that I produce, such as the weekly video, the context, and the knowledge that I share in illustrating what are the tools, what are the actionable types of knowledge that you can also very easily acquire, you're welcome to become a supporter on Patreon at patreon.com/davidorban. Today's episode is about tools and experiments for digital event platforms. What are the features that enable a positive digital event experience? Is the current generation of tools able to offer value to organizers, attendees, sponsors, speakers that can be equal or actually superior to the value that we derive from a physical event? And in order to illustrate that, I want to start from a very, very concrete live example. As we speak, the 3-day digital event EXO World is happening online on the platform Hopin, which is quite nice, as we will see. And it is very importantly a paid event. So being respectful of the business model of the organizer OpenEXO, I am not going to stream the event itself. I'm not going to pirate EXO World for all of you. And, you know, you can say that whatever the cost of the event is a lot or not. It doesn't matter. What matters is, are you deriving a value that is equivalent or hopefully more than what you may be required to pay for it? And by the way, if you want, you can still go ahead and buy a ticket for the event. Let me see if I have the banner to show you. There you go. If you go to exoworld.live/David-Orban, and you have to pay attention to the uppercase, lowercase variant in the URL as well, otherwise it wouldn't work. You cannot just mindlessly type it in because you would use a lowercase probably. Then you can still buy a ticket to the event for the remainder of the day and for the next 2 days at a very drastically discounted price. The reason why it is important for experimenting with paid digital events is because we have to find a sustainable economic model for them. Whether it is conference organizers, attendees, sponsors, exhibitors, and very importantly, speakers, who are supposedly an important component of the value of an event, whether physical or online, really free is not going to cut it, because it hasn't, or it hasn't still. Well, we don't know. We are experimenting to understand what a new world is going to look like and whether money is going to occupy the same position as it has in the past. But for the moment, if you want to pay your rent or mortgage and your electricity bill and very importantly, internet connection, and you have to buy groceries and pay for healthcare, you are bound to be in a position to have to generate an income. And that income either comes as a dividend or it comes as a paycheck because you are an employee, but there has to be some way to make that money flow. And that is why It doesn't matter if an event is $5 or $10 or $1,000. If you believe that it is worth it for you, then you should pay for it, and the organizers should be able to experiment and find what is the right price point and have you pay for it. So feel free to go that URL and buy tickets as we speak. Now, EXO World has been going on now for a few hours. And how was it? It was pretty cool, I have to tell you. So let me show how it works. There is a reception area where you can see what is going on right now. And there are all kinds of alerts. You have to use Google Chrome to use it, not from the phone right now. It may work, but it is not working great. It is not the best. And there is a very, very detailed schedule with who are the people who are participating in that schedule. You can go back and see what was there in the past. Now, in the main stage, there is nothing that is happening now. That is what you were seeing before. It is a loop of video, right? Because everybody is now in the individual sessions. And in the sessions, you can be an active conversational participant together with the speaker. And you are welcome to join my session tomorrow. It will be at a pretty late hour if you're in Europe, because it will be almost 1 o'clock in the morning, but you never know. And you can also join the session as a viewer. So as you can see, there are now 26 people. 5 of them are together with Paul Sappho, who was the speaker closing the previous segment of the conference, and they are talking to each other. And there are 26 people who are watching their conversation. And there is also a moderator that is in conversation with Paul, letting him know who other people are there. And I can say, hi, Paul, and he is not going to be looking at the chat for sure. And I am also going to go away because I don't want them to call me on stage. So there are other sessions that can be joined, and you can see the people who are there. Now, you may not have noticed, it's quite nice that there are a total of 1,200 people in the conference right now, right? 1,200 people in the conference. Another great way of connecting is the chat, which works pretty well, and you can message people. You can paste URLs. I will show you some of the URLs that were shared because they are pretty cool. I think they are part of the collaborative, interactive spirit, not only within the platform but among the attendees. There was a very, very good talk about the role of tools and screens in education, and the person giving that particular talk, Sonal Shah, was remarking how important it is to stimulate engagement so that we are not only passive in front of our screens. And she was talking about metacognition and how that was proven to be triggered even by a little stimulation, thinking about learning stimulates metacognition and a better engagement, a more self-aware participation. So that is actually what is happening here. Because in the chat, and let me share the right screen, in the chat, at a given point, one of the participants shared a link saying, hey, we are working on a series of notes about the conference. And as you can see, there are now almost 100 people in this online shared document frantically working to add information, refine the formatting, create footnotes and adding photos and so on and so forth, all together in order to understand, learn, but also to be engaged, right? So, for example, adding the right pointers to each of the speakers, highlighting the fact that they have a book, and so on and so forth. So, what I did shortly after is to actually create an additional resource. I went to my phone, and I have both an iPhone and an Android phone, and this only works on later generation Android phones, and fired up the Google Recorder app, which is a free app that while recording audio, it automatically generates the text. And we are accustomed to speech recognition working pretty well. I hope you are never leaving to your recipients the dreaded WhatsApp messages as voice recordings. But if you like talking rather than typing with your thumbs, you are instead dictating, which for you is exactly the same, and the person receiving your 2-minute long message can just skim it and stop at the right places. And actually, whether it's WhatsApp or wherever else, you can do that, and you can do that in many languages, in Spanish, in Italian, in English, and so on and so forth. Now, the Google Transcribe app, which is called Google Recorder, for the moment only works in English, but it is still pretty good. And so I created a document for the EXO World automatic transcript, where I told people, hey, you are welcome to this document, and let me know if you have any suggestion. This is the tool I am using, showing also a screenshot of the tool, and then starting just to paste the automatic transcription of the talks by the various speakers. And we have more than 70 people also on this document, hopefully not only lurking, but also helping and correcting it. And as you see, just 4 or 5 people speaking each for 10 minutes is already creating a 16-minute transcription. So I don't know if EXO World have that plan, but they could, by the end of the event, have a 100, 200, 300-page document and have the crowd of passionate, alert, engaged participants edit it so well that it is almost as if you had the proceedings of the conference available in real time. Wouldn't that be quite amazing? So welcome Angelo Nori, who on YouTube is saying buonasera, and all of you are invited to send your comments and questions from the various platforms where we are streaming the show on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and so on. So let's share one last bit of the fun that all the attendees together are having on this platform. I showed you the note taking, the transcription, and one of the attendees then said, "Hey, why don't we share our contacts?" So he created this shared online spreadsheet, and everybody individually is adding their contact information just by themselves, right? And this also is very cool, working very well, where you can, I don't know if filtering makes a lot of sense here, but anyway, you can just work together in having fun. This would make sense, right? Have a way of having the sector actually selectable as a filter, if that were some way possible automatically. Who knows? Could be. So what I also did is to create bit.ly links for the two documents. One, the conference notes, so that rather than linking to an ugly Google Doc URL, it links to a much better one. And for the transcripts too. And the nice side effect is that I see more than 100 people clicked on both. What else? There was also an interesting poll that Peter Diamandis showed, asking us for our collective intelligence what the global GDP is going to be in 2021. And the consensus is around 75 trillion US dollars, which is going down by, let's say, about 10% from 2019. So it is expected that for various reasons, and you can give a reason and people can vote on the reason that you are giving, the global GDP is going to receive a little bit of a shock, not very big of a shock. Some of the responders are saying $10 trillion. Well, I hope they thought they needed to respond on the increase of GDP or decrease of GDP, because I don't believe anybody is expecting a 90% decrease in GDP all over the world globally. That would be really, really terrible. So, hi, Asif, and feel free to also send a question. I am very happy that you are here, but I would be interested in learning what you are curious about, the things that I am showing. So the platform is fairly sophisticated. Another area that I want to show you, which is fun. I don't know if I can actually show it to you live. I don't want to disturb somebody. It's the networking session, and the networking session is fun because you are automatically matched with one of the attendees, and then you have 3 minutes to discuss a little bit, and then to decide if you want to exchange contact information directly on the platform. And you see each other and you talk to each other, and that's it. It's speed dating, and after 3 minutes you are matched to another person automatically. There is also an expo area that right now is organized in a manner that is relatively, quotation marks, passive. So you can go in the exhibition area that I actually set up, and you can then watch the video that is available there, and you can listen to the wonderful things that I am telling you about. And then if you are interested in learning more or getting more engaged, then you can click on this button and I will receive an email with your contact details. And you can do this in turn with every exhibitor. There is also a poll area where people can say what continent they are coming from, if they also told somebody about EXO today, and what is it that they like the most. As you see, the poll is not extremely sophisticated because you don't have an other, for example, option where you could write something, but still, it's cool. And then the last section is where you can actually talk to individual people, attendees, and you can exchange messages with the people. And I can say, hey, Guido, I am showing your profile on my live stream. I hope you don't mind. And there you go. So this is it. And oh, I see this is still not updated. Now, let me show you. This is good because turns out my session is not at the time shown there, but at the final image. But it is at the time that the thumbnail of the video is showing. And we are quite accustomed, because that is what YouTube taught us. Sorry, clicked the wrong button for a moment. We are accustomed that YouTube, when we update a video, changes the URL. So if we embedded the video somewhere already, and we change the video, we have to update the embed as well, which is not good at all, because there are many places that we don't control. Other people may have embedded the video, and we cannot tell 100 or 1,000 people, please update the URL because that video has been deleted. And that is really bothersome. So what is pretty cool, and I, to be honest, didn't know about it, even though also because of what I did in the past, I am a little bit of a semi-professional of online video in many ways, is that a particular online video platform called Wistia allows you to update the underlying video without changing the URL of the same, right? And that is a real relief. So I created an account on Wistia, and I uploaded the intro video that you saw before. And that intro video, which is not this one, sorry, that is my speech tomorrow. The intro video, which is this one that you saw, needs to be updated because it gives the wrong time for my talk. So rather than despairing, I will be able to go back and update not only the thumbnail that is already correct. Maybe you can't see it, well, definitely you can't see it, but it says the right time. I wrote it as 24:25 CET, which of course doesn't exist, but I didn't want to write midnight or 0:45. And I will be able to update the video itself without changing the URL. So this is definitely very, very welcome. And then if I am very diligent, I can go back and change the video in my booth, right? In the expo area. I will be able to, tell some other story. Maybe I will link the video of our live stream. Who knows? I don't know. It's anything is possible. So, what else do I want to show you? Yeah, I think I showed what I wanted to show. So we can now talk about some considerations about Hopin as a platform. So in the back end that you didn't see because you saw the platform as the attendee of a particular conference called EXO World, on the platform, you can do obviously many other things. This is your profile, and you can look at the connections that you have, the events that you attended, the events that you are currently attending, and then you can create an event as an organizer. So let me show you that a little bit, where you will see that there are some interesting functions in the economics of the events, of the digital events here. Because what you see is immediately, it's right there in front of you, is that the platform is connected to actually charging for events. And I haven't organized a paid event on Hopin yet. Actually, I did, but it was just a test event last month, and I paid my own $3 ticket to see that it would go through, and it did. And what you can do is fairly complete. So you can define a test event, let's call it test for live stream, and it is okay, UTC, Universal Coordinated Time. It starts, when do we want it to start? Today at noon, that's fine. It ends today, not at noon, but at 9 p.m. Okay, and we can define the various modules that we want to appear in the event. And let me pull it out a little. I feel that it is constrained. It wants to live on a wider screen, and we will. Oh, I see. I'm at the wrong organizer. Sorry, because you can have multiple organizers, right? So I can go to my profile somewhere. Sorry, and I should be able to go to the right organizer. That's right. Here we go. I changed to Network Society. There you go. You see my $3 and my total 22 registrations, and oh my God, this is incredible. So let's create a new event, and I will call it test for live stream, and I will do the same as before, and ending at 9 p.m. today. Okay, and I define the various stages, and you can see that I can have a public, a private, or a hidden event. And I will make it hidden, and so I will now publish the event, and now the event, oh, all right, sorry, I need to add the ticket before I can publish it. So I will add a free ticket, okay? 100 tickets, okay. So now I can publish the event. Are you sure? Yep, this is the test. I'm fine. And then you can copy the URL, and people who know the URL, test for live stream, will be able to join the event. So I will buy myself a free ticket, and I am here, and I can see that nothing is happening at the stage or the sessions or the networking or at the expo. No surprise, and that the event is still going on for some time. Now, as you go about your event, and let me find the right window. There you go. The studio is the next thing that you need to check out. So the studio is the backstage where the speakers themselves gather. And here it is going to be a little bit tricky because my computer may not probably die, but my stream may suffer if I try to do this, but why not? So I pick my camera. You see, it doesn't even want to do that. Hello. Oh, because this is not the camera, this is the microphone. Okay. Let's put a non-existing microphone, and then I pick my usual camera. Here you go. And as I enter the backstage, now I can start broadcasting, right? And in the backstage, the people who are moderating can talk to each other, and the moderation panel can allow other people to join my broadcast. And here I can also create a poll, right? Now, you may or may not have seen that there are also the usual RTMP fields available, which are the options to have your video come not via the studio, but via another source. For example, we could have Restream with its cute overlays and bottom thirds and everything, feed the video onto the live stream of Hopin. And I hope you are able to follow what I actually mean. Let me close this so that the camera or the computer rather can feed just once here in the StreamYard native part rather than everywhere. Mansoor is saying Assalamu alaikum. Hello, Assalamu alaikum to you, Mansoor, as well. And for you, it is also valid, my remark. Your questions are welcome. Greeting is very nice and absolutely I appreciate it. But questions, comments, and remarks are also welcome. So another thing that you can look at, and the data will be empty, but it's worth giving a look, is that in the summary you have all kinds of information available after the event is finished, as well as the recordings and summary from the sessions and the polls, and you can also have all kinds of details about the ticket sales, how many tickets you sold, and how many people registered, and you can go and define the various event areas by adding more details. So that is Hopin, and the platform is able right now, or at least the creators of the platform claim that they are able to serve more than 100,000 people simultaneously. And it is quite nice, quite amazing. 100,000 people is a lot, right? EXO World is a pretty successful conference, and the platform that I showed is supporting it. So Hasnain Raza is asking, what am I showing? I am showing a platform for digital events called Hopin, and Hopin allows you to not only stream like I am doing now, one to many, but it allows you to organize a digital event that you can charge for, receiving the money in real time for the tickets that you sell, where there can be exhibition areas, there can be different talks happening, networking, event sessions and booths and registration, etc., etc. So you can just sign up on Hopin. Actually, you can ask to be added because they are still in beta, and as a consequence, they are careful in managing the platform so that it is not overrun by enthusiastic users. But it is a very, very interesting platform. So Muhammad Usman Farouk is asking if it is also usable for webinars. So yes, I would definitely say so. The definition of online meetings, online webinars, online conferences is not clear cut, right? A webinar is something that is streamed and then recorded, where people register to enter. It can be free or paid. And yes, I would say that Hopin can also be used for doing webinars. One thing that it cannot do yet is to host an event on your mobile phone, or even to attend an event on your mobile phone. Not yet good for that. Probably in 3 months or 6 months, it will be perfectly good. You know that I am doing these live streams using StreamYard, and StreamYard can be used from the phone very well. So you are now seeing a sneak peek of some of the future events. You see that April 20, I will be in conversation with Brad Templeton. That on April 24, I will be in conversation with David Brin. Brad Templeton is one of the world's top experts in autonomous cars, in self-driving cars. David Brin is a fantastic science fiction writer. As a matter of fact, I am so excited of having him on the show that I pulled out from my bookshelf his various books. Star Tide Rising, Uplift War, Sundiver, The River of Time, Foundations Triumph, and these are just the physical books. I have, of course, all the others as ebooks as well. Just to show you that I am excited to have David on the show. And StreamYard can be used from a mobile phone. So I think that is very important nowadays. One thing that StreamYard cannot do is to host an event from a mobile phone. You can go inside as a guest to be actively on the screen, and you can watch without any problem, of course, on the various destination sites, but you cannot initiate a StreamYard event from your phone without sharing your host password with somebody who from the computer just says, okay, let's start. I am planning to show other tools as well. One of the tools that I just signed up for, and I am not yet sufficiently familiar with, is actually, as they say, for webinars, right? So Muhammad, once I am more familiar with Livestorm, maybe in a week's time or so, I will do another session to talk about this because it looks cool. One thing that it has, this Livestorm platform, is the ability to actually show the interface as well as the sign-up emails and everything else in many languages. And that can be important. A lot of people speak English around the world, but many others don't. And to be able to participate in an event where you are greeted with an interface in your own language can be quite important, and I'm happy to see that Livestorm allows that. I invited them to join, so maybe when I will talk about Livestorm, they will be here as well, and we will see that. Anyway, this is another test that I'm going to do. Okay, so I showed you the Hopin interface also in the backend after showing you a Hopin event like the EXO World event that is going on right now, and just to show you right now, Salim Ismail and Peter Diamandis are in conversation, and the people are back. There are over 1,000 people connected in the conference. Even though the expo area is open, I'm sure most of them are here looking at what is going on. And here you go. This is my future guest, Brad Templeton, talking at the conference. And what I cannot do right now, because I am talking to you, is to generate the automatic transcript of the talk by Brad Templeton. And I'm sorry, but that is how it goes. I can only do a few things at a time, and I wouldn't be able to do that while talking to you. Okay, so what I want to end with today is a series of considerations around digital events. I think that the attempt that Hopin is making to recreate the components of physical events in a digital platform is commendable and misguided. There must be more courageous experimentation around what are the parameters of physical events that we do not want to inherit in the digital world. One of the characteristics is the necessity of being connected for an extended amount of time in front of your screen, which is natural if you went to an event venue and then you wouldn't leave and go home and then go back again. Or even worse, like in the case of EXO World, which is going on right now, for 3 days in a sadomasochistic relationship, both the event organizers and the attendees and the speakers, to pretend that it is possible to concentrate on a single platform for so long is absolutely preposterous. It just is not going to happen. Hasnain Raza is asking how he can operate. He says, Hopin. Well, you go to hopin.to. Let me put that on the screen. hopin.to. And you sign up. And it is free. And they earn money if you have more than 100 attendees. Then they charge you 50 cents per attendee, and they earn money if you have paying participants, because they will take a percentage of your ticket price, right? So I hope that is clear and actionable for you, and that you will be able to test it. And I would be very happy to help if you believe you need help, Hasnain Raza, if you want to organize a conference in Pakistan with Hopin. It could be fun. And I will be happy to come as a speaker. So let me know, Hasnain, if you want to go ahead organizing a conference in Hopin in Pakistan and invite me as a speaker. All right. So back to what I was saying about the considerations. The duration of a conference, both in a day as well as across many days, doesn't need to emulate the way that we did physical events. So, for example, if I fly to some place to participate at the conference, of course, that will be probably for 2-3 days. Also, because if it is very far in the world, I will be jet lagged, I will need to rest a little bit, I will go partying until it is late and have dinners with the attendees and whatever else, right? But that is not how digital events should necessarily be. Also, the way networking works can be very different. Here in the digital world, we can be much more efficient. You know, just like I was showing the way that it is happening over at the EXO World, where they are sharing their contacts. They are transcribing the talks in real time, collecting notes, photos, links, books, remarks, comments. These are things that typically do not happen in the physical conferences. So the platforms, if they are smart, should be concentrating in understanding how they can enhance the differences in order to make digital events not a poor imitation of physical events, but much better and much more enjoyable. And that would be, I think, an essential path towards making them economically sustainable. Because then people will say, yes, the pandemic is over, we can hug again, we can travel, we can organize physical conferences. But you know what? We are still going to keep attending and paying for digital events because they have proven to be very valuable. And and Emiliano is saying that he has been organizing a cyber disco online and it was fun, and that he wants to organize a follow-up digital party. Very good, very good. So this is for today, and now I am supposed to go back to EXO World, and I have been sitting literally in front of the computer participating in EXO World for something like 5 hours now, and I think that's wrong. So I am now not going to go back to the conference, but I am going to dinner, and I hope that you are going to enjoy everything that you will be doing as well. Thanks, Zubair, for the warm welcome. Thanks, Hasnain. You want me to introduce myself? Well, I did that at the beginning, but I can introduce myself again. My name is David Orban, and you can Google me very, very easily. The title of this show is Searching for the Question Live, and you can learn more about me just by coming to my website, davidorban.com, or marking a like on my Facebook page, which is also Searching for the Question. And you are welcome also to vote on future guests to come and participate in the Discord community, and to sign up for my newsletter. And this is David Orban from Searching for the Question Live, signing off for today, and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you very much.